Hi everyone, welcome to Live Darts. We're Danny in Hastings and we're joined by Adrian Gray. Adrian, thanks for joining us. It's been a roller coaster over the last few weeks for yourself. Congratulations on winning your tour card back. What was it like going to Wigan and getting the job done?
Well, I've been to Wigan a couple of times trying to get my card back. I felt good this year, as to previous years, not so comfortable. But this year, been putting a lot of effort in, so, been playing a lot of darts. So I felt really good and, things went right for me.
So you weren't really talked about either before Q School. Obviously there was the BDO favourites going over and the lads that have lost their tour card. So you sort of went under the radar a little bit this year as well.
Yeah, I've been off the scene for a long time in the Steeltip. So, I knew what I could do. If it happens on the day, then it's all good.
You touched on the Steeltip. We'll come to a few bits here. I'm going to take you all the way back now. First PDC event 2002. That seems a long time ago when we say it in dates like this. Can you still remember it?
Barely. I can't remember what event was it. UK Open. It was the UK Open. Yeah. So, yeah, was it last 16? Yeah. Beat Colin Lloyd on the way. Yeah, I remember bits of it.
I say from there again. 2007 was probably your breakthrough year in Steeltip darts. Qualified for the Worlds for the first time. Qualified for the match play, and beat one Mr. Phil Taylor on the way to a quarter final of the Grand Prix. You were the poster boy of UK Steeltip darts then, because you broke the mould in terms of what a dart player looked like, the stereotypical pub player, and you weren't that. You were this young lad. What was that like, the pressure of being this poster boy for darts at the time?
I think, there was massive pressures. That's probably why, that kind of ended there, because of, the amount of pressure that I was under, not being experienced enough. And like you said, being, my breakthrough, and beating Phil Taylor, on the biggest, on one of the biggest stages there are, TV in front of many people. So trying to handle that pressure, obviously, it shows it did get to me.
Were you disappointed in yourself as well in that period? Because from 2007 to 2013, when you lost your tour card, you never quite hit those heights again. Was that just down to pressure?
No, I think the field of players, we can see that it's gone in leaps and bounds of the quality of players. So it wasn't just the pressures of me. It was the field is so good that to perform week in, week out and get back up after being knocked down was tough.
I remember seeing you at a Pro Tour event in Crawley, and I turned up slightly late and you were walking out and you were like unconsolable. I think that was around the time where you lost your tour card. At that sort of time, did Steeltip darts just become too much, the pressure just get where you just were like, I'm done?
I think the answer to that really is, not performing how you can, being beaten regularly, not, I used to go into events, believing I could win an event, and then slowly started going, oh, please let me win a round. And that's the kind of, the scale it got. And that was tough to deal with, leaving the family, each weekend, coming back with nothing, was really tough to take. So, I really needed something to get me back.
When you lost your tour card in 2013, was that rock bottom from a darting point of view for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, losing it and then you go back to Q School, try and win one again, that's the bit where you actually go, maybe I'm not good enough. So yeah, that's the rock bottom.
From there, you changed codes, shall we say, and found Softtip darts, where you found great success in that. What was the difference? What changed between not being able to win a Steeltip game to going to the Softtip scene and producing some excellent stuff?
Well, playing the Softtip, I mean, a lot of people have their opinion on it. It's fine. But I find it so enjoyable. Like when I first started playing darts, it was so enjoyable. And because this was kind of different, still throwing darts, but kind of different, I was able to refocus. None of them bad memories of being beaten week in, week out existed. So, it was a fresh start for me to be able to focus and enjoy darts as I'm enjoying darts now.
Was there a huge difference when you first picked up? I know, obviously, the targets are bigger and you're throwing from a different distance, but fundamentally, I'm guessing it's still the same. Yeah,
it's a dartboard, it's a target area that you're aiming at. You have to adjust to the distance. The bigger targets, happy days for me. More 180s, more 150s, easier to hit. But, it makes you feel good when you're hitting the targets you're aiming at.
Again, you got to travel to some amazing places playing Softtip as well, and playing for England over in Hong Kong. What was that like?
Yeah, I never thought that, I'd ever travel to Asia. With the PDC, we've been to Vegas, all around UK and Europe. But, finally getting to Asia, seeing the culture, being liked by so many people, was a whole new experience for me and very enjoyable. Playing for the UK team, that was a first, whether I ever get to play that in the Steeltip, who knows. But no, that was a great experience as well.
As well, being put on a pedestal, like you say, being liked by someone, did that build your self-confidence and self-esteem back up to, hang on a minute, I'm still good at this sport?
Yeah, who doesn't want to be liked? Being liked, is enjoyable. So many people like to talk to you about, your history, what you've been doing, what you've done, how you're playing, and it's good to share them sort of stories.
Again, last year as well, you went and did a bit on the Challenge Tour as well. Was balancing the two, bit of Challenge Tour action and a bit of Softtip, was that tough to juggle or not too bad?
No, that worked out fine. There was no problem with juggling the two. I think the Challenge Tour actually, I had a couple good runs, maybe didn't finish as high as I would have liked to. But that sort of showed that, I can still throw the Steeltip, and, that's what got me ready for the Q School this year.
I say, did that give you motivation? Because I'm guessing if you hadn't had good runs on the Challenge Tour, then you might not have even gone to Q School this year.
Yeah, that's, like we said, when you're feeling good, you want to play as much as you can and do the best you can. And, like I said, I had a couple of good runs, and that put me in good stead to go to Q School and give it everything I got.
Going into that final day, what were the nerves like? Because obviously you knew you were in a semi-good position going into the final day. I wouldn't say guaranteed, because obviously we spoke earlier and you were like, I think I need this many points. So what was that like, knowing that you probably didn't have to win the tournament on the final day, but trying to judge where you needed to be?
It's really tough, really, because I was sat third position, 1 day to go, on 10 points, and everyone trying to fill you with confidence, saying you've got this, you're okay. But Q School's so tough to win a game. My prelim game went 5-4. The guy missed the shot at the bullseye to take me out, and I don't think I would have actually qualified on 10 points. So getting through that, and then finally winning my first round match to get that one point was the key, really.
What was it like, that feeling inside when you were told, Adrian, you're there, you've got your tour card back?
It's a lot of hard work, showing that that hard work has actually paid off now. It was a great feeling, to be back on the tour. I know being on the tour doesn't mean I'm going to be the next Rob Cross or Michael van Gerwen, but it gives me a chance to play against them and test my ability against them.
So now, fully fledged tour card holder again, and Softtip star, can you do both to the highest level?
Well, my main focus is on the Steeltip. So, if any Softtip events are around while I'm, that there's no PDC events, then I'll juggle the two.
Obviously, I'm going to touch on the Softtip element now. Obviously, in Asia and parts of Eastern Europe, it's huge, it's a monster. Do you ever think we'll see it over here rivaling Steeltip, or do you always think it's going to be something that's played more primarily in that part of the world?
I can't see it rivaling the Steeltip. I can see it getting bigger here, but I just, that's the fun side of darts, and the Steeltip's the serious side. So when I speak to people, how I describe it is Softtip's like pole and Steeltip's like snooker.
It's a good way to compare them. So for the rest of 2019, have you set yourselves any targets, any goals that you'd like to be this time next year, having played for a year back on the tour?
I haven't actually set any goals. I don't want to, I don't know how my first pro tour is going to go. So the last thing I want to do is set myself a bar that's too high or anything that, could then put me back where I was a few years ago.
Again, obviously, when you've said you've been down there, I'm guessing now it's just the second chance, just enjoy it and not put that pressure on yourself at all, even when it isn't going particularly well.
Yeah, that's it. Just enjoy it how I have been enjoying darts, and I know my own ability and I know what I can do, and if I can produce that, then I'm sure it's going to be a successful year. Adrian,
congratulations on everything you've achieved in the last 6 months, especially because it's been a rise that I say you went under the radar. So it's great to see you back playing well, mate. Thanks very much for joining us at Live Darts as always, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.